And I dedicate this piece to the memory of Samuel Boateng, who passed away the wee hours of Monday morning. This piece is not to scare anyone. It is to create awareness. Seek your maker when the time permits. Nipa baby ko. You draw man phone so na yakai yanom. Aje my koja my. And then toto fe me the one sesi one bofre won ho ade hye. Na kenya mu atie de osonso afene sasabon sama wafu achacha. And so asase therefore masabi otumfo ya kwada na ketachi na chinka fo machi ne nim nyina ye dotie yi. Asesa kwabrane no. And waja tintin bro no. Sammy, may you and the great rest in peace. Therefore, you are not too far to come close. See, you are the reason why these doors won't open and that door won't close. Better if I speak in tongues. Motivation to make it isn't in man's knowledge, it's enough. The danger lit is terrible. Abochi, you are Kadazuanka. Kayiguda, Kayina Bill, Kayina Uku. I've never heard such a count from one that thrives Jesus. Asante Kotoko. Ye kuma pepe wosi apembeba centro. Ensamrani e bu kona wuro. Bafwa enche na wusu hihwe dwafwe. Osia de ayo ne abonu abomodi ne kurei. Aji mai koja mai prempepre ye ne wo hu ye wampe okoja mai se wo di ne ntente. Ena sebe ose yo. Ene etutututu asese dunsin. Yetumi asase mpo no ofenema ya ye begine kuntunsi. Adehye etupia afa Jaina wakwa. Abrempo apesikadwa efo owu apakan no wo priafoa. Na nsuo to ye na wante a wo sore ye so sabi mpanyin anim wa hunu fom. Me maame me nana ya asanto a empo ankyerebo a me hunu ma binom ne sene wo ye won ho a am simple ya afem. Na ntwa ode ne dua no ye de na popa pono so ma yanka na ebedi na he confonsem anokwa o ode ne ho bi wo ho. Who says there is no God? Shut up. Seek him. For soon, he knocks on your heart's door. And if you do not answer, we shall hear the crack on your casket locks. The name remains covered the poet legs as Makama, the spider that spins words.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a news search on your TV. Take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and StarTimes box. Citi TV, it's your world.
It is the last day of September, and we're so happy that you can join us for Breakfast Daily.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. What a beautiful morning. It's cool, it's rainy. It's a good way to start the day. It's almost like we're washing away everything that September brought, on this day. Beautiful day. Good morning to you, Dziffa.
Good morning to you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm expectant. I'm in high spirits. I'm looking forward to good times in October.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to waking up tomorrow. I mean, every new month will come with its own challenges, but it's really what we make out of it. So I'm looking forward to October.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Breakfast Daily. My name is David Kwekusechi.
And I am Dziffa Ametam. It is an interactive show, so we want to hear from you guys. Wherever you are, just join the conversation with the hashtag Breakfast Daily.
Yes, and our WhatsApp line is 0550585832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, kindly add +233 to that number.
Yep, and every morning we start the show with a quote of motivation. So we'll take a look at our quote this morning.
So the quote of the day comes today from Mark Twain, and he says, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. If you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything. You know how it is? You know how it is when people try to remember, what did I last say? You know, because at the end of the day, if it's the truth, it sticks with you. But if you're making it up as you go along and you're adjusting your story all the time and all of that, you know, so I think that it's important for us to always tell the truth. Okay, no matter how difficult it is, just tell the truth. You never have to remember what you last said, because you just have to stick with what is true.
Yeah, and people genuinely appreciate authenticity. So sometimes we feel like we have to live a different type of life, or we have to be a specific kind of person because who we are is not enough.
Yeah.
But then in your authenticity, people see themselves in you, and they get to accept you for all that you are. And for the people who won't be able to understand you, maybe you are not for them and they are not for you.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But if you live in your truths, you will find that tribe that will accept you exactly as you are and celebrate you. And I think that's the best thing that we can all do for ourselves.
Yeah, well, things are hotting up, getting ready for the elections. A few days to go. I think we're about 68, 67 days or so to go. You know, of course, we have this our show called Voters Diary.
Yeah.
Just remember that Voters Diary is that show that enables you to make a good, informed choice. All right, every afternoon, Monday to Friday, at 1 p.m. it's happening on radio, and at Citi TV here, it's happening at 3 p.m. with Vivian Kailoko. All right, you don't want to miss it, because we break down all the figures, go area by area, town by town, constituency by constituency, just trying to give you a broad perspective, you know, an in-depth and broad perspective of what it is that we need to understand about the electioneering process and preparation to make our choice on December 7th.
And you know, this week they've been discussing industrialization, which I think is crucial to our development. We've been talking about industrialization since the very early days of independence. Kwame Nkrumah, one of his favorite quotes is that we cannot talk about political independence without our economic independence. And this week, the Voters Diary team, they've been comparing the different political parties, were the dominant ones, MEP and MPP, their manifestos, how far we've come with our industrialization agenda. And I personally think that industrialization is something that we need to position as a national policy, not even an MPP or an NDC thing. Yesterday, the World Bank launched the report on youth unemployment in the country. And one of the things they said was that we have to try to create at least 300,000 jobs yearly to be able to get rid of this unemployment issue that the entire continent is battling with. Now, we all know that Africa is a very young continent.
It is.
So what is the future going to look for us if majority of our human capital is not going to be productive because we have not found opportunities that will enable them contribute the best of their abilities to our economic development. And unfortunately in Ghana, when we talk about industrialization, it's always government driving it, right? But how do we enable the private sector enough so that they can see that, okay, I'm going to grow my business, I'm going to employ people, and the economy will grow on its own. You know, a few decades ago, we couldn't boast of our own local chocolates aside the one that we all know. But now we have like 3-4 different chocolate brands that are really great. We couldn't boast of our own lotion brands, shampoo brands, hand sanitizers. Entrepreneurs are doing the best they can in their small little corners. But how do we now create the ecosystem that will tie this industrialization agenda into what's happening in these small spaces so that we can now see that the money is circulating locally? And I want to be able to get to a point where come December, both political parties would agree that come what may, we need to get to a point where we are not so dependent on the export of raw materials, but we can say that 30% of the things that we are actually moving out of the country are raw materials that we've turned into finished goods, and now we're sending it outside the country to other parts of the continent, taking advantage of AFTA. Because you know, AFTA is great, but we've also had Akua for a very long time, and we've not done much with Akua. You know, so how long are we going to keep celebrating these agreements that we have that are supposed to enable us get that domestic revenue that we really need for our economies to grow? You know, we really need to get to that point. So I'm happy that the Voters' Diary guys are discussing the industrialization agenda. If you want to catch it today, 1 p.m. on radio, you can follow it. 3 p.m. you can follow on TV. But as you're listening, try and tie it into the different sectors as well, like what's going on with employment, what's going on with our human capital. How do we really get that revenue we need? Because we can't continue to borrow, we can't continue to get grants. I mean, Ghana Beyond Aid is great, but when you look into the books, we're really not beyond aid because we are not getting that domestic revenue we need to finally say that we've rid ourselves from aid.
I mean, I think there's a large, part of what this particular government is doing that is sinking in funds to generate a certain level of productivity that hopefully takes us around the curve, But like you said, I mean, if we don't make it, widespread enough, we are not going to have that level of productivity, that then means that we are actually generating enough so that we stop, we pay off our loans, stop borrowing. And look, if you borrow, it doesn't mean that, because somebody can say, okay, that's not aid because we're going to pay it back anyway. But is that justification, good enough justification? I think it's important for us to get away eventually from borrowing, as well, and get into that place where we are self-sufficient. I think that's an important step, because you see, you can say, away from aid, but what is aid? Borrowing is a form of aid, so we really need to get away from the whole concept of we not being able to lift ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And I think that's a place that we should aspire to be.
And I'm relieved that more and more young people are now asking for things like, we need factories in our communities. We need more schools. We need more technical institutions that will help us. And I think we also need to get to a point where we create synergies between the technical space and then people who have tertiary education, because a lot of our young people are finishing university
and then
terrified of the real world because they've not been provided an opportunity to actually navigate what the real world is. And unfortunately, those of us who don't go on to universities have been in the real world our entire lives, but then we don't have that knowledge that will help scale our businesses. So I look forward to the days where we'll create opportunities for your average seamstress to collaborate with someone who just got a business degree. She's talented, she can make clothes for everybody, but she just can't figure out the business side of things yet. Now you have this person who's graduated from school with a business degree, but has no clue of what the real world looks like. Create synergies between those two people, and then we move on. I think the Ministry of Business Development is doing its part. MBSSI is trying. We have the one that John Ama is
Is it John Kumar?
John Kumar, yes, John Kumar. Yes, John Ama is also an entrepreneur. I'm thinking of John Ama right now. Create collaborations between all these institutions so that that, okay, once I'm done with this thing, MBSSI is here to help me. GSA, now they're saying that if you don't have the Ghana, yes, if you don't have the Made in Ghana logo, you can't export. How many entrepreneurs can actually afford that logo? You know, what kind of subsidies are we providing for them to be able to do that? What kind of markets are we seeing? Okay, when you go into Nigeria, for instance, there's a deficit of product A, B, C. Government is going to assist you move your products there. It can't just happen because we're sitting there and just talking about it. We have to actively participate. So I think we really need to bridge the gap between the unemployment issues and our national industrialization agenda.
All right. Yeah. Well, very well said. It's time for us to do the news review. And
news roundup.
Yes, the news. Yes. News roundup before
and we're
news
going
review.
Across the country.
Yeah. So we're going to go around the country for our news roundup. Let's go to the Western region and hear from Akua and Imeje.
Welcome to today's news roundup from the Western region, and my name is Akua Enim. An independent parliamentary candidate from the Takwa Nsayem constituency, Joy Jocelyn Ando, says she is motivated to contest the December polls because of the poor leadership the current MP, George Mrekuduka, offers. She indicts the incumbent MP for not attending to the numerous challenges of the constituency, a situation she explained is worrying. The MPP faithful, who went independent following her disqualification by the party to contest the incumbent MP, George Mrekuduka, added that the people of Takwa Nsayem deserve much more. Joy Jocelyn Ando said this at the launch of her manifesto at Takwa, where she promised to set up a work and pay taxi scheme to assist taxi drivers and the youth who are willing to make a living out of driving. The controversy surrounding the Takwa Nsayem constituency contest has deepened recently following a fight that broke out between the incumbent MP, George Mrekuduka, and the MPP Western Regional Secretary and Presidential Staffer, Charles Visiu, over allegation of some executives supporting the independent candidate. Also from the Western region, the Member of Parliament for Esikado Ketan constituency and the Minister for Railways Development, Joe Gate, says he will work hard to win the seat the 5th time. He alleges a massive wave of propaganda by some politicians in the constituency against his 5th term bid, but says that will not deter him. Joe Gate, who denies facing any stiff competition from NDC's Dr. Grace Ayensu Dankwa, a surgical doctor with many years of voluntary work in the Esikado Ketan constituency, told Citi News he's confident of winning 40,000 out of the 71,000 expected votes in the Esikado Ketan constituency come December 7th. Finally, Keep My Vote Alive Alliance, a civil society group, at a press conference here in Takoradi, have challenged the Electoral Commission to focus on ensuring a trustworthy voter register acceptable by all stakeholders. The convener for the Keep My Vote Alive Alliance, the group also demands the Electoral Commission to be welcoming to concerns raised by stakeholders in the run-up to the general elections. They further asked the Electoral Commission to ensure the October 1st reopening of the registration exercise for specific groups of persons goes without any incidences. The challenge by the Keep My Vote Alive Alliance follows recent concerns raised by some political parties during the voter exhibition exercise. And this ends today's news roundup from the Western region, and I am Akua Enim.
So that was the Western region. We'll now take a look at what's going on across the country.
Good morning and welcome to News Roundup on Citi TV. My name is Edward Apod-Balfo from the Ashanti region. Coming up, President Akua has warned that government would do ruthlessly with persons plotting to foment trouble in the December polls. The president made the remarks when he addressed a Deba of chiefs and people of Jaso in the Ashanti Achim South District of the Ashanti region. The president, as part of his tour, commissioned a 12-unit classroom block for the Jaso Senior High Technical Factory projects in the Ashanti Achim South District. Still on politics, the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, has mocked the National Democratic Congress asking to know the whereabouts of the COVID-19 team they set up. The NDC, in the early stages of the COVID-19 outbreak in the country, announced a response team made up of a number of members. The Education Minister, who was addressing a debate of chiefs and people of Asante Achim South District, wondered the essence of such a venture. He questioned such capability, saying the NDC, in their time in government, could not break. The minister was full of praise for the president in the manner in which he has handled the COVID-19 situation in the country. Moving on, as Ghana's active COVID-19 cases keep reducing, the CEO of the Komfo Teaching Hospital, Dr. Hinibo Usudanso, has warned the general public to desist from violating COVID-19 safety protocols or risk a second wave of infections. According to him, Komfo Teaching Hospital was worse hit by the pandemic, as 351 of their health personnel were infected as the facility struggled with limited resources. He is thus calling on relevant health authorities and the general public to help prevent the resurgence of the pandemic by adhering to all protocols set. Finally, a group calling itself New Wealth Contractors Association of Ghana, which is made up of 112 contractors, is calling on government and the Ghana First Company to pay them for working on projects between 2017 and 2019. The group has given the government of Ghana a 10-day ultimatum to facilitate processes to ensure they receive their payments or risk mobilization of votes against the MPP government. Speaking at the news conference, the chairman of the group, Emmanuel Dapa, said collectively they have so far worked on 448 projects but have not been paid, a situation which has brought untold hardship on them. They have even attributed the death of about 30 of their members to the non-payment of their contract sums. They thus want government and Ghana First Company to pay them a combined amount of about 132 million Ghana cedis within the next 10 days. That's all for today's edition of News Roundup on Citi TV. My name is Edward Obodmafo. Many thanks for watching.
Good morning and welcome to News Roundup from the Northern Region. My name is Diana Ngwan. Local traders in the Northern Region have threatened to lock up stores owned by Nigerians and other foreigners in the region. The Northern Regional Chairman of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, says they have reached a deadlock in their negotiations with their foreign counterparts, hence the decision. He revealed that the national executives of GUTA, together with the Ghana Investment Promotion Council, GIPC, and security personnel will soon embark on an operation to lock up stores of foreigners involved in the retail business. The president of Igbo community in Tamale, Mr. Emmanuel Okudele Okoye, has however denied the assertion that negotiations between the two groups is at a standstill. Mr. Okoye, who is also the Assistant Secretary General for the Nigerian Traders Association of Ghana, said they are still in negotiations and expressed the hope that a solution will be found soon. Passengers traveling from Saboba to Yendi have expressed disappointment at government over what they describe as the neglect of the Saboba-Yendi road. Flooding on the road has become a perennial affair as Saboba and surrounding communities are cut off from the rest of the region during the rainy season. A major bridge between Yendi and Saboba, known as the Palba Bridge, is usually covered with water, making it impossible for commuters to ply the route. The only alternative route is through Wapuli, which is also in a very deplorable state. For weeks now, following the floods in the northern, northeast, and upper east regions, that route has also become impassable. The few vehicles that are able to pass through the flooded road have resorted to charging exorbitant fares. According to the passengers, the fare from Saboba to Yendi, which used to be 10 cedis, has been increased to 15 cedis, while from Saboba to Tamale, which was 16 cedis, has been increased to 25 cedis, a situation they describe as worrying. Transport owners, on the other hand, complain of frequent breakdowns of their cars due to the poor state of the road. They justify the increment, saying it is to help cater for the cost of maintenance. The development, according to commuters, is worrying and they are calling on government to urgently act. And finally, from the northern region and still on roads, angry residents of Dungukuko, a suburb of Sanarigu in the northern region, are threatening to boycott the 2020 general elections over a stalled road project in the community. Residents say works began on the road 4 months ago but have since stalled. According to residents, heap of sands left on portions of the road by the contractor has made it unmotorable. They bemoaned how difficult it is to move on the stretch, especially at night. The assemblyman for Sanarigu Dungu electoral area told Citi News when he contacted the contractor over the issue, he complained of lack of funds. Residents who now face the challenge of commuting on the road want government to release funds for the contractor to return to the site, or they will boycott the upcoming general elections. That ends it for News Roundup from the Northern Region. My name is Daina Ungwan.
So that's just a brief of what's happening in the country from the western region to the northern region. And, you know, it's important for all of us to stay updated on what is happening in the country, especially now, because come December, we will all have to vote. And some of these issues are what we will use to determine who gets to govern us for the next 4 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a lot that's coming up in the show today. Later, well, of course, after this, we're going to go for the news review. Yeah. And then later on, we're going to be doing consumer tech.
What are you guys discussing?
Well, I mean, in consumer tech, I'm going to be looking at how tech can influence parenting. You know, so we have Stephen Bwedi, who's going to join us.
Oh, nice. I like Stephen. It's all about marketing, consumers, you know, I like Stephen.
We're going to have that conversation. I think it's a very important conversation to have. You know, too many people are struggling. And I think that in this era, when you have all the tools available and all that, it's important to be able to use them and use them properly, you know, and make it easier for yourself.
Definitely. And of course, later on, we have Hello, Mr. President. Yes. Today, we're going to be looking at roads again, and it's unfortunate because this year was supposed to be the year of roads, and you would think that 3 months into the end of the year, we won't be discussing roads again. You know, and sometimes us here in Akua, some of our friends in Kumasi say they see that their roads are fine, so they think everything is well. But the reality is, especially our friends up north in other parts of the country, even doing something simple as going from one town to the other is really difficult because it's almost as if we've forgotten them. And that's why Hello, Mr. President is so important, because it helps us remember that we can't unsee these things. They are bringing them into our homes. They are showing us how they're living. So if you woke up today and you were able to get to work in 10, 20 minutes, their children have to spend 2 to 4 hours getting to school. What's the quality of education they're going to get when they're already exhausted by the time they get to school? How are these children going to be globally competitive? We are literally inhibiting their potential by not providing them something as simple as good roads. So if you have any issues in your communities and no one is doing anything about it, from your DCE to your MCE to your MP to everybody else who is supposed to be responsible for making your life a bit better, just take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video. Show the entire country what you have to deal with and how that is inhibiting your personal growth as a Ghanaian. And every Wednesday at 9:30 on Breakfast Daily, we will show the entire world what you're going through and call on to those policymakers to ask them exactly why they've not made life a little bit better for you. The email to send that video to is hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp it to us at 0550-585832. If you don't have a video phone, don't worry. You can text it to us with that same WhatsApp message and the email, and then we will show it every Wednesday at 9:30. We have more news roundup for you from the Volta region, so we'll take a look at that, then continue the show.
Hello, good morning and welcome to another news roundup from the Volta region. My name is Benjamin Aklama, and in today's edition, we'll be bringing you up to speed with happenings in the Volta region regarding the attack on the SCC yard by the separatist movement calling for the creation of a Western Togoland, and also bring you up to speed with the reaction of the chiefs and the people of the area. Now let's settle for the details. Work at the STC terminal in Ho has come to a standstill following the attack launched on the facility by members of separatist group calling for the creation of an independent Western Togoland out of Ghana. The group had attacked the STC yard around 1 a.m. Tuesday dawn and beat up drivers who were preparing for the day's trip and set one of the vehicles ablaze. The station manager at the Ho STC yard, Richard Ahiafo, says the state transport company will restart operations only after a determination to that effect is made by management. Meanwhile, the Assembly Traditional Council says it may be forced to unleash its warriors to help protect the territorial integrity of the jurisdiction. The chiefs of the Assembly State in a press conference last night called on the government to act swiftly of the separatist group. According to the chiefs, the recent activities by the group could best be described as criminal and should be treated as such. They also indicated their willingness to help protect the territories of Ghana with their warriors if need be. Togbe Ajin Lakleho, so the 12th, addressed the press on behalf of the Assembly Traditional Council. Now, finally, the Volta Regional House of Chiefs has also condemned in no uncertain terms the activities of the separatist movement agitating for a Western Togoland state. The House, in a statement signed on its behalf by its Vice President, Togbe Tepre Hudu IV, said the Standing Committee of the Volta Region House of Chiefs held an emergency meeting on Sunday, the 27th of September 2020, to discuss the rebellious actions of the group advocating for the separation from Ghana. While referring to particular statements made by some politicians, which they describe as causing discontent within the region, the chiefs warned they will not condone any illegalities and stand ready and willing to support the government of Ghana in stopping the activities by the secessionist group. Now that does it for News Roundup from the Volta region today. My name is Benjamin Aklama, and do enjoy the...
So that's Benjamin Aklama giving us details on exactly what's happening. And I do agree with the people who are saying we should tag these people as thugs and deal with them as such, because we can't afford this, especially in an election year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, News Review is up next. My name is David Kukusi.
And I am Dziffa Ametam. We'll be right back.
There is no promise we cannot keep. There is no commitment we cannot honor. There is no delivery we cannot guarantee. There is only one Bethel Logistics Company Limited, a licensed international freight forwarding and clearing agent, a trusted global brand with an extensive network for the movement of air freight and ocean freight worldwide. We are the trusted name for road freight into Western and Northern Africa. We are fully accredited by Ghana Customs and Excise. We cater for all your freight forwarding, customs clearing and forwarding, cross trades, inland transportation, internal cargo tracking systems, customer freight costing and consultancy, cold chain logistics management, logistics and warehousing, quality inspection, and much more. In Accra, Tema and Takrady, we are always available to ensure easy movement of cargo countrywide. Call us on 0204 528 900 or 0244 707 859. Email info@bethellogistics.com. Locate us in Accra at North Ridge, adjacent Accra Girls High School, or in Tema at Community 4, or in Takrady on the second floor of the GCB building. Website bethellogistics.com. Bethlog, experts in shipping logistics.
Akua Farms Limited, located in Akropong in the Eastern Region, is a 1D1F initiative funded by Ghana Exim Bank that deals in poultry. This venture will create direct and indirect jobs for Ghanaians and help Ghana realize the vision of becoming an export-driven economy. A feat that would reduce the over $375 million spent on poultry importation. Like Akua Farms, there are other businesses being set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative, such as Casada Ropa, Ekunfi, pharmaceuticals, and more more local businesses, which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P. Produce, promote, purchase, and prosper. If as a people we believe in the Ghana beyond aid, then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our products. Let's support Made in Ghana and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
All right, welcome back from that break. This is the news review segment on Breakfast Daily. My name is David Kwekusechi. The show is interactive, so kindly use the hashtag Breakfast Daily for us to hear what you're thinking. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, kindly comment on the stream below. The WhatsApp line to send us messages is 0550585832. If you happen to be outside Ghana, kindly prefix that with +233. Now, I'm going to go through the dailies that we have here, the headlines, and then I'll introduce my guest to you. We'll have a conversation. On the front page of the Daily Graphic, we have Cocoa Board secures $1.3 billion for cocoa beans. 1D1F, President commissions Kasapreko plant in Kumasi. One-day voter registration tomorrow. So if you haven't registered, that's your opportunity. 27 billion Ghana cedis spent on social interventions. This came from the Vice President. On the front page of the Ghanaian Times, government won't tolerate violence, rabble-rousers in the upcoming elections. This is from the President. Cocoa Board seals $1.3 billion loan deal for purchase of 900,000 metric tons of cocoa in the 2020 and 2021 crop season. 36th Farmers' Day launched in Accra. Separatist group strikes again in Ho, attacks STC yard, burns 2 buses, subjects drivers and security men to severe beatings. On the front page of the Daily Statesman, concerned voters take on Mahama over Saglemi housing stench. Government commiserates with Rawlings. No return to era of incompetence after 4 years of good governance, Bawumia cautions. Trump accused of preparing grounds for defeat. On the front page of the Finder, appointment of Keta Port project director necessary to give him authority. This is coming from the GPHA. Economy, good governance to decide 2020 elections. This is from a survey. CEO of La Bianca Company sues Dr. Hanabisu for 10 million Ghana cedis. Cocoa Board signs $1.3 billion loan to buy cocoa for 2020-2021 crop season. National debt management in 2020 is one of the best in recent years. We cannot return to incompetence after 4 years of stellar leadership, from Dr. Bawumia. Finally, on the front page of the Custodian, Bawumia jabs Mahama. We cannot return to incompetence after superb leadership. Condemn Ekufuado too, not NDC alone, Mahama tells chiefs. We are competent to fix problems, EC boss to critics. Bawumia leads government team to console JJ. Let's take a look at a few online stories and we'll come back. And yes, and on citynewsroom.com, bailout package for private schools under consideration. This is from the Vice President. Attacks by secessionists, another Akufo-Addo administration failure. This is coming from NDC. Collaborative effort needed to thwart separatists, says Upon Nkrumah. We are making unemployment arrangements for 1.2 million SHS graduates, says the employment minister. WAEC sued for engaging examiners with, quote, leaked identities to mark 2020 WASI. And on citybusinessnews.com, Cocoa secures $1.3 billion syndicated loan, $1.3 billion syndicated loan. First tranche expected by October 10. BOG governor justifies conversion of bonds to cash to pay defunct MFIs and SNL's customers. Social innovator turns plastic waste into sandals. About 90% of local businesses recorded reduced sales due to COVID-19. This is coming from the GSS. Qatar Airways officially commences operations in Ghana. And on my Joy Online, a Dziffa deal, pull brakes on IPO, produce outstanding documents, special prosecutor to the Finance Ministry. So for more news, kindly visit citynewsroom.com. And for more business news, kindly visit citybusinessnews.com. All right, so welcome back again, and my guests are seated in the studio. Let me introduce them to you. I have with me Dziffa, who is a member of the NDC's National Communication Team. Good morning, Dziffa.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you too?
I'm very well, thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Right, and I've also been joined by Leonard Osman, who is a member of the National Communication Team of the MPP. Good morning, Leonard.
Good morning, Dave.
How are you?
Great.
All right, it's good to have you here.
Yeah, thank you.
I think this is the first time you've been here?
Sure.
All right, welcome. All right, so let's delve straight into the topics that we have for today. The first one I'm going to read from the Ghanaian Times. We'll deal with persons to plot who are plotting to cause chaos. This is regarding the 2020 election. Government, the Ghanaian Times says, government won't tolerate violence, rabble-rousers in upcoming elections. That story is on page 12. Let me just read that quickly for us, and then we'll get into the conversation. The President, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, has said the government will not tolerate any form of violence from rabble-rousers in the upcoming general elections. And I quote, "No culprit of electoral violence will be taken lightly. We are going into the elections with peace. We will not allow anybody to bring violence in the country. Those who will bring violence will know the government has power in Ghana," the president said. According to the president, everybody will get a chance to vote on the election day in peace. He was addressing a Durbar of chiefs and people of Joaso in the second day of his 3-day working visit in the Ashanti region, where he commissioned a 12-unit 12-unit classroom block for Joaso Senior High Technical School in the Asante Achem South constituency. Nana Akufo-Addo insisted that he and the New Patriotic Party deserved another 4 years in office, considering the good works they had done within 4 years in office, urging Ghanaians to vote massively for him and all the parliamentary candidates. He promised his government will continue to bring development to the area, as 12 out of 16 roads in the constituency had already been awarded to contractors for construction work to begin. The chief of Bompata, Nana Efa Apenteng, lauded the president for his good works across the country, as he urged Ghanaians to vote massively for the MPP in the upcoming general elections. He, however, appealed to the president to consider the construction of some of the Bompata town roads to help ease transportation challenges in the area. The president inspected Best Fertilizer Company, a fertilizer processing company in the Asankare in the Ashanti Achim South District, and others. Now, there's also a story here right next to that one about the separatist group striking again at Ho. Let me just touch on that a little bit. Militants believed to be members of the Western Togoland movement have now extended their acts of terrorism to the Volta regional capital, Ho. They stormed the intercity STC yard amidst the firing of gunshots early yesterday and burnt 2 of the 11 buses in the yard after holding 1 driver and 2 security men hostage after ordering them in English to lie down. Okay, let me start with you, Leonard. This conversation here, I want to juxtapose what the president is saying about the fact that we are not going to tolerate any violence leading up to the election, and this violent acts that are already happening in this particular pocket of the country. What are your thoughts on?
Dave, good morning once again, and then good morning to your cherished listeners. I'd like to congratulate the president in the Mali case. And everybody knowing the president knows that he's a man of peace. You know, he's one that is not of violence. He likes to always preach peace. He likes to stand for peace. And so violence is really not good for anybody. Violence is not good for you. It is not good for me either. And looking at the issue of Western Togoland, it is not just the people within Volta region. After the First World War in 1922, the plebiscite to organize for them to join the then Gold Coast to become independent in Ghana in 1956, we had 170,000 people, on the electoral college to vote. We had 90,000 people voting yes, 40,000 voted no, and then the 30,000 were not sure because they didn't know what this whole plebiscite thing was about. Now, the whole thing about Western Togoland and what is currently going on there just do not have to do with Volta region alone, because Western Togoland does not cover just Volta region. It goes beyond that. You have parts of northern Ghana, you have parts of eastern region, being part of Western Togoland. And now these are regions that are now incorporated in modern day Ghana. So those who are calling for the separatists, those who are calling for, an independent country, what are their motives? Exactly what do they seek to achieve by this disintegration that they are calling for? The president, as I said earlier, is a man of peace. He would not tolerate violence. Collaboration is key in this whole process, and that is what we are looking forward to. Okay, so just a quick point here that I need to make here. Western Togoland actually doesn't exist. It's people that have coined the term to use that. Yeah, but looking at the way, first of all, there was the initial burning of tires, blocking of roads in about 5 different parts of the Volta region. The Minister of Information came out and said that the security services are on top of things. They actually foiled certain attempts on attacking the Akosombo Dam as well as the Adome Bridge and so on and so forth. And I think the whole market as well. But if you're really on top of things, SDC yard has been hit. I'm not sure how the government can then justify itself to say we're on top of things, because the civic center where the SDC yard is not in a hidden corner. It's in an open space. So even as people are arriving there to cause commotion, they will be spotted, they will be seen. It's not, I don't know how the government seeks to justify its position. The government, as our Honorable Minister said, is actually on top of these issues. Yes, but timing is also of essence when it comes to violence. Because if you look at what is happening currently, it is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. And for me, for people to just, I don't get it really. For people to get up at a certain point in time and then just want to destabilize a country that is of peace is unacceptable. the government is on top of issues, Dave, that you can be very much assured of.
So
the perpetrators of this shall be brought to book.
Okay.
Definitely.
So let me just quickly read this here for us in juxtaposition this here. Okay. All right. So you know what the president said with in his speech. Okay. No culprit of electoral violence will be taken lightly. We are going to the election with peace. We will not allow anybody to bring violence into the country. So, are you saying that we should expect that none of this burning of buses and and so on and so forth is going to, we're not going to see any of that anymore?
The president has assured this. And so we should take his word for it. We are not going to see anything like this in the election because security is being beefed up.
Okay. Dziffa,
Dave.
Your thoughts and comments.
Good morning once again. Good morning to my colleague here. This is the first time and I'm pleased to meet you. Good morning to your cherished viewers and the man himself, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the most graceful man I have ever come across. Let's go straight to the point. First of all, I don't even know what touched to come out and make that promise. This is a man, this is an all-die-be-die man. Let me use that in quotes.
I don't understand.
Yes, he's the one who, I mean, when he was even in opposition and he had no power at all, this was the man who could bring out that most popular all-die-be-die phrase. Let's just say that when you promised me something, Dave, I would look at your track record and your history to be able to predict whether you are likely to go along with your promise or you are likely to, disappoint me. I remember quite well when we were, just about last year, there was an expose about some men being trained at the Osu Castle. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I think it was some.
Yes.
No, it wasn't Manasseh.
Manasseh's expose. It was Manasseh's expose.
Yeah.
It was quite detailed for all Ghanaians to see. We had a president seated in the Flagstaff House. There was nothing, no tangible reason as to why these people were being trained there. They weren't they weren't part of the military or part of the police whatsoever. They were private people, and obviously, unless somebody comes to tell me differently, I don't know what it is that private people were gathered and being trained there for. I don't know what it is that they are being trained there for. They are not the police, and they are not.
What's your point?
My point is
related to what
I'm coming up. I am developing my point.
Okay.
Let's go back to the Ayawaso West Wagon issue, where we had a lot of. It was bloody. There was a lot of attack that we, the NDC, even had to pull out of the election. We didn't even go on with the election again. We had to come to that conclusion. There was a commission set to investigate and whatnots and up and downs, as though there was something good going to come out of it. We now saw the people that we had to blame according to the commission's report. And what came out of this? I am saying, you asked me, what am I trying to get to, Dave? I'm trying to get to the fact that I am very sure, and I know that the president was just deceiving us when he said that. It's a clear instance of deception, because in the past there hasn't been any serious attention given to these vigilante groups and young people that come out and want to demand whatever it is in the name of violence. It has never happened. So it's clear deception, and history has shown you had several opportunities to tell us or to show us. You are saying, I mean, if you can read that part again where he said that he was going to show them that, well, the law exists or something if anybody tries.
Yeah.
In the past, when we've had such situations, did you show us anything? What were you able to do as the president? There was nothing, completely nothing that you did. So if you are telling me this, that you are, you are going to stand on your foot and make sure that you aren't going to allow any group of people to come and distort the election, I think it's a joke. I think it's a joke. First of all, he should start from within, because in his time, he has shown that he tolerates violence a lot.
and there is no way whatsoever that. Let me give this tree a day. They say, I mean, only friend is Dave, you have to help me.
You have to help me. Put your adage.
No, when someone says that he would give you, is it a cloth or something? Yeah, you should see when that this man's track record has shown that he endorses. Should I say indirectly endorses? I wouldn't say that he has come openly to do, but he indirectly endorses violence. And today he's come to tell me that he is going to prevent violence from this coming election. I hope he goes by his words. I really hope, but I do not trust him whatsoever. Ghanaians do not trust him in the least. And we are judging him right now based on his track record. It had 4 years. And recently, about a month ago, there was a video of people, a group of boys attacking a policeman, and there has been several instances. And you realize that all these vigilante groups or young guys are getting bolder by the day, because after all, when things like these happens, there isn't any proper legal action taken against them. We are supposed to set examples out of them to teach people out there lessons, and you are seeing nothing.
The government came out at the time of the Manasseh Azuri expose to say that nothing untoward was going on.
Yeah, they denied it, but the thing is, Dave, I'm telling you that you are wearing a pink shirt. Someone has taken a video of you wearing a pink shirt, and you are coming to tell me no, it's not really pink.
This is debatable whether it's pink or it's pink.
Okay, it's part of the red family, and you are telling me, and you are telling me that no, it is blue, or no, it's not really part of that family. You understand? I can see it clearly. Manasseh didn't bring the video to himself and then to his company alone. We all saw the video. So what was the exact explanation that the government gave to?
But you know that in the videos that were going around, there was footage apparently from places as far afield as Nigeria that were part of the video. So it's like it gave an impression of something untoward going on.
Exactly.
Okay, but the government says that look, this were pretty much
I heard what the government said. I know, and everyone knows that this government is full of talk and no action. If you are being accused, there is something untoward going on, and we are looking at it. We need an explanation. We only expect that you give us an explanation that directly deals with it, not deny and say there was nothing untoward going on. So what were they doing there? Who are they? What are they preparing for? Where are they from? You get me? These are the questions that people, every Ghanaian wanted to hear. So if you are giving an explanation, you should probably give an explanation towards that light. Don't come and deny and say there is nothing untoward going on. You get me? This journalist who went through, who did that expose himself, has quite a reputation. The thing is out and we are seeing it. Give an explanation. This government is full of talk and no action. False promises, extravagant promises, and they do absolutely nothing at all. So you go and meet a group of chiefs and you promise them that you have very clear intentions towards the elections and that there isn't going to be any sort of, you're not going to allow any sort of group to distort the election or something. It is a lie. I think it is pure deception. It is to tell people that, or should I say deceive people that probably President Akua has some good intentions towards Ghana, but your track record has said otherwise. And I do not think that I would encourage Ghanaians, if you do not want to get disappointed, just don't believe what he is saying. Of course, you know, when you expect so much for somebody, that is likely to lead to disappointment. In the case of Akua, it has happened to every single Ghanaian, including a lot of MPP members who find it hard to say because it's their party. So I'm just encouraging you, please ignore it. Ignore what the president said. Protect yourself. Vote and go back into your room. And I'm encouraging everyone out there, every young guy or young girl out there, do not get into, or should I say, do not get involved in any group that will go and pose as vigilantes and, you know, distort the peaceful nature, the peace that we are expecting this election to bring out. Just be safe and do not join any vigilante group. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, you have a response to her?
I have a response to her.
Okay.
I'm actually surprised that this is coming from Dziffa, a member of the NDC. When in this country, Dave, when a former president mentioned that, I mean, they are known for, they have a history of unleashing violence. Whilst the president was busy unleashing developmental projects in this country, this was what the former president said. And let's go back to the Azoka boys. That was the NDC's system. It was a vigilante group by the NDC, and that was the very first one to, what do they call it, to have been formed in this country.
What did they do?
Now the president in this country have banned vigilantism. If the president was not a peace-loving man, Dave, would he have accepted the 2012 election results? No, Dziffa. So please, let's, leave the propaganda behind and then deal with the issues.
Dave, will you give me 30 seconds?
No, we're going to take a short
sure.
break. All right, so we're going to go for a short break. We'll be right back and we'll continue the conversation. Don't go anywhere.
With antibacterial mouthwash formula and deep cleaning gel. Close-up deep action. Enjoy long-lasting fresh breath.
All right, welcome back from that break. It's time. Well, we're still doing the news review segment, and we want to hear from you. Okay, so the hashtag to use is Breakfast Daily, and the WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. Now, just before we went on the break, we were talking about the violence in the country, in different pockets of the country, and the fact that the president is saying and is assuring us that there will be no violence towards the election and during the election. I'm just going to quickly jump into the next topic, and then we will continue the conversation. So the appointment of the Keta Port project, the appointment of Keta Port project director is necessary to give him authority. All right. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, GPHA, has justified the necessity of the appointment of the director of the Keta Port project. A statement which was signed by the General Manager for Marketing and Corporate Affairs of GPHA, Esther J.B. Donko, justified the appointment yesterday. The immeasurable need for effective negotiations, and I quote, when it comes to port infrastructure development and concessions, requires experienced negotiators with solid legal background to ensure value for money at all stages of the developmental process. And such expertise could not fall under any less capacity below the level of directorship within the authority, it stressed. The statement further clarified that Dr. Alexander Yao Edusei Jr. was appointed as project lead to liaise with the requisite teams to facilitate the back activities towards the implementation of the Keta project. It further clarified that the personnel are placed at the directorship level of GPHA's personnel grading systems to give them assurances of authority to engage appropriately. It praised the work so far done by the director since his appointment in leading the negotiation team and the selection of the consultant to commence the feasibility studies of the Keta Port in June 2020. The statement also highlighted his engagement with the chiefs and the people of the Keta area to ensure proper community involvement and the acceptance of the project. Beyond these, the statement also said Dr. Edusei had been engaging in other duties since joining GPHA. It said that Dr. Edusei has doubled as a member of the board of directors of GPHA. He also plays an additional role as a member of the negotiating contingent of GPHA, currently handling concessions such as Ibistek concession, Tema Dry Dock concession, and the RGST concession, among others. The statement concluded by saying that the appointment of the coordinating director is an acceptable practice in both public and civil service. Hence, one does not necessarily have to be appointed into an existing directorship position, especially when justifications have been made requiring a person of senior managerial status with unique expertise to coordinate activities on behalf of an institution. I'm going to begin with Dziffa on this one. What do you make of this story? They are now conducting feasibility studies, yet a director of the project has been appointed.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Let me just add to our previous topic.
Okay.
No, I'm not. It's not a rebuttal. I'm just adding that I do not support, or should I say, we are completely against the secessionist groups and what they are doing in Volta region. It is not something that any government should entertain at all. And as my national chairman said, it shows clear failure on the part of this government. And I hope that the government backs up and does something about it before it gets out of hand, because our peace is too vital to this country. Now, let me go to the Kitaport issue. If I remember quite clearly, this man was was appointed in 2018,
yeah,
right? I think April or something, yeah, somewhere around there, April 2018. And we were surprised. I mean, all of us were just seated there. And the reaction of Ghanaians only goes to tell you that this is not common for you to hear that there is something going on underway. And then the director has already, he's actually the, is it a minister or the CEO or something? I want to use his actual position because it's quite big.
Of the port?
Yes, of the port.
He's the director of the Keta Port project.
Director of the Keta Port project. And there isn't any single structure over there to represent. In fact, there was so much noise about the fact that his office even isn't located there. Now, as I said, the reaction of Ghanaians is only to say that this is not common. We have been going through projects every single month, every single year. In the Mahama administration, it was so common that every single week we were commissioning newly built projects, we were cutting swords for projects that were going to go on. So it was normal. And, you know, big institutions and everything. I mean, we had large stadiums and stadia and hospitals and everything. And we know that when we finish these, before we appoint directors or managers or whatever it is that has to be appointed. But then in this case, no. After we experienced the 126 ministers over bloated presidential staffers, like a record of the most over bloated government in the history of Ghana, we go and we hear that it goes as deep as appointing a director to a non-existent port. As this time, it is non-existent. We all are aware and we are grateful for the fact that there is the idea or the consideration and it's going underway. So you come up with this, and then just yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday or so, Gapoha, I like to call them that a lot. Gapoha comes out and backs all the claims, I mean, that Ghanaians are making. And I read it and I was disappointed. I believe in the good job.
What was it that disappointed you?
The fact that they said that the nature of, or should I say, the nature of a port or building a port and all those things require a lot of analysis and negotiations.
It's here that the immeasurable need for effective negotiations when it comes to port infrastructure development and concessions requires experienced negotiators with solid legal background to ensure value for money at all stages of the developmental process. That's why.
Thank you. So this, remember, this is Ghana Ports and Harbour. This is a whole institution that is supposed to harbor all the ports in Ghana. So if you are telling me that it requires a person with solid legal background, someone who is good at negotiating and so on, the qualities that he described there, are you telling me that Ghana Port and Harbour is not capable or does not have such a person? Or you know, they've employed quite a number of people. It's a big institution altogether. And they have no one. They have to bring the director of the port, actually, or should I say they have to appoint somebody else as the director of the non-existent project as at now. And then GAPOHA cannot deal with it. This is, I don't know whether I should call it incompetence or this is a disappointment to Ghanaians. No, I have an institution and it's supposed to take care of legal affairs. And then you tell me that within the legal affairs there is a monetary issue, and you know it is a very tough thing, and it needs so much attention. So I'm going to bring somebody outside of my firm to work within that sector. That means my firm is not capable. That is what I'm trying to say. That means GAPOHA is not capable of producing any manager or director, meaning deputy director or anything.
I'm not sure if that's what it means.
No, that is not what they said here. But I'm telling you, I am telling you that from what they wrote, that is what it means. Because I am saying that GAPOHA could have on any day looked through their stuff. We are working on a project. It's supposed to be under the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Okay. You understand? So we find us a competent staff who has good legal background, who is very good in negotiating, and so many things, or so many of the requirements that was mentioned in the release, to deal with it. When the project is done, almost done, when there is a physical structure that we know that things can start going on, then we appoint somebody. This doesn't happen anywhere. Then why haven't we talked? What is the special issue about Keta Port? We've had other ports before, so why aren't we doing same for other places?
Okay, fair enough.
Why do we have to?
Let me put that question to her.
Yeah, thank you. Put it to her for me.
So, Lynette, you heard the question. What's special about this case, and why appoint a project director when there's no project yet, as it were?
But there is a project underway, is there?
Underway. Non-existent project.
I mean, if you're doing feasibility studies,
I just like to do a quick one on her shortcutting of the NDC and then all that before appointing their.
That's the most important to you.
No, that's not the most important to me. I'm just
what are you referring to? Please.
Sure.
What are you referring to?
She mentioned what they call the NDC did a lot of shortcutting, and it was after all those commissionings that people were appointed to take what they call a charge and then perform their roles. And I'm just getting back to the shortcutting that they did without fundings and then all that. You can't be parading shortcutting left, right, center without funding and then asking people to what they call it. We're in this country where you are doing all these ones.
So let me get back to which particular. I just want to be sure which particular.
Don't worry, I'll get back to that issue, Dziffa. I'll get back to that issue. So you are talking about the GPHA projects. Now, every project needs a project director. What is the case? People should be moving up and down from Tema to Keta to take care of these issues. Is that what we are saying? Why is Dziffa making it a point that there is no capable person within the GPHA, and that is why they're appointing somebody from outside?
But you know, yesterday on Eyewitness News, the question came up that, is he living there? He's not living there. He's been appointed, fair enough, but he's not living there. So your point in that should people come from here to go there? Well, people are coming. He's also here. Is he performing?
It's the question we should ask him. Is he doing the duties that he has been assigned to do?
You tell us.
If yes, what is the propaganda all about?
Is it propaganda though?
That is
These are legitimate questions.
They are legitimate questions, yes, and that is why the GPHA have responded and then indicated why they brought him as a project director.
Okay.
And so for me, this should not be a big deal. If we have any issues or if we have any concerns which we think that, you know, GPHA should look at, then we should get ready to engage them. Why they did what they did. And for me, this press release is enough for us to, what do they call it, hold them to their word of why they appointed him the director of the project.
Okay, all right.
Dave.
Yes, you want to respond to that?
I just want to ask my friend here, tell me what he has achieved ever since he came. It's been 2 years, right? Tell me his achievements. What has he done?
There's been negotiations going on, Dziffa.
My God, you just didn't say that. There's been negotiations going on for 2 years. So he was appointed for just negotiations.
He was not appointed for just negotiations. There's work being done on the ground. You are not dead.
No.
Being done on the ground.
There's negotiations. That's what you need to tell me.
You need to get the 2 years to be sure of the work that he has done. So tell me, you are the ground.
Ladies, let me read some messages from our viewers. Kwame Abuaji from Cape Coast says, Ghana is one of the most peaceful countries in Africa. The youth are getting jobs under 1D1F, planting for jobs, NAPCO, massive infrastructure development, etc. So the youth don't find it attractive to involve themselves in criminal activities. Well, Kwame Abuaji, I'm not sure how you describe the attack on STC if it's not a criminal activity. All right. Eben from Kwabenya Welder Junction. I think it's high time the Ashanti region advise themselves because President Akua and the NPP has nothing for them. When John Mahama and NDC were showing their achievements they've done in Asanteman, the NPP is showing. I think you need to put your phrase your message well so that we can easily understand what you're trying to say. Okay. That's Eben from Kwabenya. See if you can say that again. I appreciate that. Dr. Downblow from Aposka, Takrade. In 2016, President Akufo-Addo pleaded with Ghanaians to try him. Ghanaians indeed gave him a try. But 3.5 years on, it's only family and friends of this MPP government who are enjoying. And the rest are suffering. We won't make that mistake again. Change is coming. All right, he says his regards to Felix Kwachi of Fusu. Okay, Mystic in Sawam Edwajiri says the secessionist group attack on the people of Volta region, especially my hometown Mepe in the North Tong constituency, is unfortunate and condemnable, but it is due to intelligence failure and incompetence of the Nanado-led government. Ghanaians are not safe under Nanado. Let's bring back John and Jane. Okay, let's go on with the rest of the conversations. Youth employment. I'm going to read to you from citynewsroom.com, and then we'll delve into that. So the story here. Let me just quickly read this. We're making employment arrangements for 1.2 million SHS graduates. This is from the Employment Minister. Let me just a quick read here. The Minister of Employment and Labor Relations, Ignatius Bafo-Iwa, says the government is putting in place measures that will ensure the employment of the 1.2 million graduates from senior high schools and technical and vocational institutions. The minister said the government's efforts have been intensified following the high patronage of its free SHS intervention and expected increase in enrollment into TVET institutions following the promise of making it free. The sector minister made this known whilst delivering a keynote address at the launch of a report by the World Bank on youth employment in Ghana. He said unemployment is expected to rise in Ghana and in the short to medium term, but the government will ensure that the numbers are reduced through the creation of employment opportunities. The issue of unemployment, and I quote, is expected to grow in the short to medium term. The success of Ghana's free SHS program and the planned TVET for senior high technical schools. More than 1.2 million young people will be graduating annually from second cycle institutions to enroll in tertiary education or training or move directly into the labor markets. This is an increase from the 800,000 students enrolled in secondary schools in 2016. Efforts must therefore be doubled to ensure that employment opportunities exist for the products of our education and training institutions, the minister said. And very quickly, let me just touch on this bit here. He added that to this end, the government is promoting agribusiness and entrepreneurship to make them attractive to the youth. The Cassava Enterprise Project, National Entrepreneurship Plan, presidential pitch are key examples of some of the interventions the government is using to provide jobs for young people. All right, let me come back to you, Leonard. And so it looks like we're going to have some challenges.
In terms of?
Unemployment. Because as it stands now, we've taken a decision to ramp up the numbers of people that are going into second cycle training. That's the free SHS, right? But we have not been quick enough to make sure that the outlet, when they come out, can absorb all of them. You know, because he says in his statement that for a while, he says in the short to medium term, unemployment is expected to rise. What are some of the things that government is planning to do to make sure that we deal with this problem?
Well, thank you, Dave. As you can see, the government is putting all measures and then systems in place. For instance, let's get back to things like YEA, planting for food and jobs, and then 1D, 1F. These are systems that the government is putting in place to be able to absorb these people when they come. All we need as a people, as Ghanaians, is to support the government in his efforts to succeed. Example, in what do they call it, within the 1D, 1F, because TVET courses, we all know, are much more practical than it is tilted towards what they call it, the senior high schools. And so if these people are well resourced from the senior high schools, definitely the system should be able to absorb them. And when it comes to employment, the MPP has a track record of employment. Let's get back to President J. Kufuor's time with YE, which the NDC came and then collapsed, which has been revived again. Let's see the president's NAPCO that he brought on board, which we are all currently enjoying. If Dziffa is not enjoying it, I'm sure probably a sister or a cousin of hers is enjoying it. So these are systems that are being put in place to be able to make sure that the people we are producing out from the senior high schools and then out from the colleges of education also get what they call it, something to do.
Okay, fair enough. Dziffa, your thoughts on this?
Dave, today I should have prepared a lot of proverbs, but sometimes I have to rehearse my proverbs before I start. That is why today I haven't been able to say a lot. But let me go back to the proverb that I used. Is this minister like really telling us that this is our 4th year with the Akua-led government and the number of job losses? Let me not forget the fact that they exaggerated, overpromised so many jobs. In fact, jobs for the youth, jobs for the youth. They are youth organizer, jobs for the youth. They came and they did exactly opposite. Thousands, if not millions of jobs have been lost under the Akua-led government. And just about last year, just around last year, you hear the Vice President Baumia telling us how people are now very comfortable with jobs and whatnot. And then today, this minister is predicting what? Or he's saying that there are going to be a lot of gaps in the job sector. Or should I say there are going to be lots of unemployment? Is that what he's telling us? Short or medium, short, medium, long term, whatever it is unemployment. That is people's headaches right now. And we are saying that in your 4th year, you are now telling us that there are problems with unemployment.
What's wrong with being honest about reality?
There is nothing wrong with being honest about reality. In fact, I support that every day. But don't come and lie to us. Don't come and deceive us. Give us juicy and unreasonable promises, or should I say promises we know that you cannot fulfill. And indeed, you didn't fulfill. And at the last hour, you tell us what reality really is. So you didn't know reality last 4 years. You didn't know reality when you are not in power. You didn't know reality in your first 2 years. You are just realizing reality in your final year.
But again, you heard Leonard make the point that NAPCO has taken up a lot of people.
A deficit in the employment that they created.
A lot of people in employment.
They created it.
Have,
my dear,
has soaked up a lot of
now
people.
she should tell me the number, the class of people NAPCO is taking, the exact number that NAPCO is taking, and tell me how it is solving the general problem of SHS students going to leave school very soon and not having jobs. Tell me.
No, but
do you finish SHS and enter NAPCO?
No.
Is that what you? No. So you do not use NAPCO to compare.
I made.
My dear, you do not compare with NAPCO. And which deficit is she talking about that we did? My dear, let's look at those who have lost their jobs in the banking sector. Only just in the banking sector. It's overwhelming. My family alone, just my nuclear family, or should I say my immediate family, we have just about 3 people suffering that. So you do not tell me that you are working on 1.2 million jobs, and there isn't even any breakdown or details. This is a clear example of their talk, no show. Their talk, no show. That is what they do. You tell me 1.2 million, then you shouldn't even have said that. You should have said 5 million, because it's all
what
talk.
What they're saying is that there's 1.2 million coming from free SHS. All these people need to be catered for.
And according to what he's saying, they are going to be catered for. There is, they are working on something. They are working on something to cater for those people. Am I lying? Did he not say that? Or you can read that portion again for the viewers to. That is what he said. So he's going to cater for just that amount, you understand? Or that particular amount. And I'm saying, what is the breakdown? It's not like we have a very big community of about maybe 2 million people where there is empty shops or empty institutions, and then we put all these people there to work. What is the breakdown? Already, even in times that you've even been able to give us a rough estimate, or should I say even a rough breakdown of what you intend to do, you didn't even do it. And today you are telling us that you're going to take care of these people that are...
As at a year ago, around this time a year ago, the government had came out with figures that they had already employed 350,000.
Mentioning figures and whatnot, and tell you that he has arrested the CD and given the key to the IGP.
But figures are what we work with.
Figures are what we work with. But I am saying that, no, he will say so much, you understand? But I'm saying that at the end of the day, when you've brought the figures and you've said you are working with it, Ghanaians will feel the impact. Am I lying? Tell me if I am lying. That when you are doing the work that you say you are doing, Ghanaians will see the results. If indeed we have overcome the dollar, every market woman will feel this is what they keep doing. Even in times when they have provided figures, they did absolutely nothing. Today you are giving enough a rough estimate of 1.2 million jobs that you're working underway to take care of this group of people. It is a joke as usual. There is nothing that they can do. There is nothing they are even doing. It is just to entice people that they have a should I say a welfare in their consideration. But trust me, there is nothing coming. Some of us have to wake up every morning and fight for ourselves and look as and see how best we can develop our life by the day and not depend on this Akufo-Addo-led government.
You have a final...
Yes, a quick one on her submission. Who created the job mess in the banking sector?
Tell me how it was created.
The MDC.
No, tell me, because I don't understand. I am an uneducated person. Tell me how the so-called job mess.
The watch of the MDC.
Tell me how the so-called job mess was created. I do not understand what is job mess. So please explain the job mess. What is it? My mother doesn't understand. What is job mess?
Your mother doesn't understand the job mess that the NDC created in the banking sector.
It's too big of a word. So tell me, we did this, we did that, and it became a job mess. Explain it to me.
Are you?
She's not the host. I will not explain it to her.
Are you making? What's your final?
I'm making a distance. This government has deliberately kept in place systems that are going of this country. Now, I just have some quick figures that I want to mention, which is 3,000 youth have been trained in online digital and skills development by the NYA. 300 young people trained in app development by the same NYA. 100 young people have been trained in street light repairs. This is all in an attempt to take these people off the streets so that they can also make something meaningful out of their lives. If Ghanaians do not want this, what else do they want? Ghanaians are wiser than, you know.
But 1.2 million people is a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. But that is why it's ambitious. It's ambitious, but that is why we are putting these systems in place. Once you have the systems laid down, then it can absorb these people that we are talking about. But when the systems are not in place, how do you get these people absorbed into the system? When we came out, I spoke about NAPCO, and then she came and said that how does it relate with and SHS people leaving school and then coming out and then all that. I was just talking about the president of this government creating jobs. Okay. And if they say they can do it,
okay, thank you.
We promise and then we deliver.
All right, thank you very much. I want to say a big thank you to you viewers for sending your messages through. I've been able to read what you sent to us. The show is hardly over yet. There's more to come, so continue sending the messages in. My guests have been Dziffa Tega, member of the National Communication Team of the NDC, and Lenat Osman, who is a member of the National Communication Team, NPP. We'll be right back. We'll be having the next conversation after these short messages on consumer tech. Don't go anywhere.
There is nothing as hard as a diamond. For buildings with superior strength that withstand all weather conditions, Diamond Cement should be your preferred choice. Locate Diamond Cement nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrady and Bupe. Diamond Cement, as hard as a diamond.
A 1D1F initiative in Kumwabewaze, funded by Ghana Exim Bank, produces orange flesh sweet potato food products like sweet potato cake, bread, donuts and chips, among others, in large quantities for both local consumption and exports. As innovators in agribusiness with the capacity of producing over 250 tons of potatoes every 6 months, it has an estimated job creation capacity of over 1,000. Like Casaderopa, there are other factories set up across the country under the 1D1F initiative in areas such as poultry, pharmaceuticals, food processing, and more local businesses which are creating jobs and expected revenue. At Ghana Exim Bank, we call this the Made in Ghana 4P. Produce, promote, purchase, and prosper, leaving the Ghana beyond aid. Then let's prosper as a nation by producing, promoting, and purchasing our own products. Let's support Made in Ghana, and let's take Made in Ghana to the world. One district, one factory. Ghana at work. Ghana Exim Bank, facilitating Ghana's international trade.
Play the golden goal on Bet Planet today with just 20 Ghana cedis. You could win a Mercedes and 100,000 Ghana cedi worth of prizes. This advert has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Bet responsibly, not for persons below the age of 18.
So, should you leave a cheating spouse?
Can you survive the marriage? I don't think so.
How do you deal with inappropriate family relationships?
For her to be married to you and still have the audacity to be romantically involved with your sister is serious.
And indeed, is love a good enough reason to marry someone?
Your partner should yearn for you.
Don't forget, you can actually send your questions ahead of time to Jessica at cityfmonline.com. Sister Sister is live on Citi TV every Friday at 9.
So to calm all the political nerves, I'm doing a love piece to all my official town and Kwateng viewers. This one is for you. They called it a game, but I chose to spectate. The countdown of pants and bras each night, and they had quite a list. But my virgin heart is an important asset I do not wish to assassinate, and therefore I chose to be in those tents. To wait. Who I was waiting for, well, I never knew. I just waited in the rising and blazing sun, the evening drizzle and dawn dew. Only humming hope with the words, my time will soon be due. I hate one, so I waited for you. I knew it was you the very day we met. I could feel the taste of my heart in my mouth. I suddenly realized I was shabbily dressed, the same attire everyone had praised with respect. See, I never told you, but I tell you now, that however I managed to propose is a proof that miracles still happen. For all of a sudden, my feet were frozen, my phalanges shaking like I woke from a morgue. My vocal cavity gave me away at that critical movement, and for the first time I found it hard to talk. So you think after this climb of Everest, I'll play just kill it with my chance? See, may I never rest until with you I have the wedding dance. Haters can eat every ball of Benku in Bukum. Or those haters can exhibit their deadliest powers, I must walk you into the ring. I said, haters can eat every ball of Benku in Bukum. And those haters can exhibit their deadliest powers, I must walk you into the ring. I must make that middle finger blink. Together in love we shall sing, singing tirelessly, and I love you too. Hopping like a bee from flower to flower isn't a life. I want to be responsible and tie you down to be my wife. See, I already have daydreams of coming back home to see your beautiful face on my couch. Waking up to a day of bliss by your touch. Dreams of we doing pillow in the night. The other day we were having a pillow fight. Please don't say no. I know your heart says same. I'm not here to play a game, but to walk you down the aisle. I'll do everything to see that beautiful moment of tears and smile. So baby, will you be my wife? The name remains Kobe the poet, Legs is the spider that spins words.
And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
What a piece. What inspired it?
Well, I love to write about love, and a lot. I mean, going and coming experiences in life, and so I wrote this piece.
Was there any particular person?
No.
Okay, but how long have you been a poet?
Okay, so into active poetry, I've been into active poetry for like 4 years now, on stage, on TV, radio, for like 4 years.
Wow, what inspired it?
I love literature.
Okay.
And I think that's the best way I'm able to express my emotions and feelings. And so that's it for me.
You're talented. What's your creative process like?
Well, writing, I mean, is my breakthrough, and so I think that.
But what's the process? Do you first have to read a couple of pieces, walk outside? What actually inspires you?
I'm inspired by general life experiences, by God, by family. Anything I see that touches me, it pushes me to write.
Let's talk about the first piece you performed. Tell us a bit about it.
Okay, so the first piece I performed is to create awareness, to tell you that you don't live for yourself. Yes, someday you'll be gone. And where are you going to? And so you have to psych yourself. And I decided to perform that piece today because a brother of mine, a friend, a church person, passed on that last Monday, and it really touched me. And so I had to perform that piece.
May his soul rest. I actually thought it was a character that you created.
Yes.
Wow. May his soul rest in peace. What can we expect from you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, sure. I'm working on an album, an EP, but I'm not sure it will come out this year. But what will come out this year is a book for kids.
Okay.
Yes, I'm working on this book for children. I really love children.
Aww.
And so I want to do something for them.
Okay.
and I'm very sure it will pass through here. People will
You will. I mean, come back to it. What can we expect from the book?
Yeah, it's to psych up our children. I'm writing in a different way now.
Okay.
A way that the setting is Africa, the setting is Ghana, so the child can relate.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
It's not A for apple, but maybe A for Accra. So the child knows that this is it.
Yeah.
And so they can relate, and also to psych them up, to tell them they can do it. As Africans, we can move forward, we can be the big people up there. And that's it for me.
What kind of topics would kids see in the book?
Motivation, doing away with fear, becoming great, all the good principles and values we are supposed to impart on our children.
I can't wait to read it.
Sure.
Where do we follow you on social media?
At Kobe the Poet on Instagram and on YouTube, at Kobe Lexus on Twitter. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you at home for staying. Don't go anywhere. Breakfast Daily will be right back.
Citi TV is live on DSTV. Go to channel 363. On GoTV, access Citi TV on channel 182. On a digital TV, please press the menu button on the remote control and run a new search on your TV. Take note that says Citi TV on your television. Citi TV can be accessed on a free-to-air digital box like the GoTV and Star Times box. Citi TV. It's your world.
All right, welcome back. It's time for us to have a conversation on this consumer tech segment. And today we're going to be talking about how tech can influence parenting. All right, and I've been joined by Stephen Nasser-Brady. He's going to help us to get into this topic. Good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good to have you here.
Good to see you.
Yeah. So parenting can be daunting sometimes, you know, and now that we are in this very fast-paced world, for parents, considering the fact that knowledge there's a knowledge overload, basically. You know, how can parents use tech to keep up with the modern trends of parenting and be effective at it?
Okay, so once again, thank you for having me. There are several tools out there that can be used. But if you want to look at parenting in general, I mean, a lot of parents use various platforms, but I want to focus mainly on two areas to be very involved in their kids' development, mainly their education, and also picking skills that they need, I mean, life skills and hobbies and things like that. This has become more important since we had COVID and the kids are still at home. And so there's a lot going on. The kids need their parents' support. And that's where the challenge has become bigger. If I can just go straight into it.
Yes, let's get into it.
One of the biggest platforms that has become popular over this period is Google Classroom.
Okay.
Now, before the lockdown, there is some of us who do trainings, remote workshops and stuff knew about Google Classroom, but it's become more popular now. Schools are using it. Unfortunately, in Ghana, not all schools are using it. And so as a parent, you need to somehow plan to manage your kids such that they can have tasks to do and all of that. The beautiful way to do it is to be able to kind of create collaborations between your kids and their friends and their peers, their cousins, families, and them from remote. So if you're using Google Classroom, if you can just delve into it, it enables you to create like a classroom. for your kids. So whatever their age, you create a classroom.
Yeah.
You act as the teacher. So you set them assignments. They can collaborate with their friends who are also invited to the classroom.
Yeah.
Set them assignments. They do them. They share them. We get back to them. It helps you to really keep up to, with what they had to do in school.
Yes.
Schools which are using it are now sending some of the tasks and the assignments through Google Classroom.
Okay.
So as a parent, you are called upon to supervise how they're using it, and you need to be online to do that. So that's a big one there. Even if your kids are not, your kid's school is not using it, you can create it yourself. And it's not difficult. It comes free with a Gmail
Google
account.
Okay.
Of course, if you're at school, you would need a licensed, user account. But as a parent who's using it with just 4 or 5 kids, you use that. I'll give you an example. I help my nephews to play piano.
Okay.
So I set them tasks. I will send them sheet music to do. Okay. Then they can collaborate. Some are in the States, some in UK, everywhere else. So then they can play, compare with each other. They can record it, share it with me, all that. So it helps you to manage them, and it takes away some of the burden from my sisters and brothers who cannot do that with them. So that's one for you.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I like that. I like that. What else is there?
There's also what we call, there's one called Brain Pop.
Okay.
Talking about schools still. I love Brain Pop because it has curriculum that's designed for almost every country. It's like global.
Okay.
So if you went on the Brain Pop, for example, if they can just show it for us. Okay. So if you went on the Brain Pop, please go to the About page and I will just walk through some of the things that it goes through for you. So how it's on the link. If not, I'll just do it from here. So Brain Pop, it allows you to be, the tasks are playful, for example. They are also educator focused, okay? And then they are reflective. Also, they are global. So wherever the kids are, whichever country, they can relate to it. And it's got courses on science, on English, on history, on social studies, all sorts. So you don't have to sweat preparing it. And there, because it's playful and fun, the kids can really relate. They learn in a fun environment. And it tracks also how well they are doing. So you, as the parent, can be able to see their progress on it. Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
There's also one I call, we all know National Geographic.
Yes.
On YouTube, National Geographic has National Geographic Kids.
Okay.
And there's a YouTube channel. So you can go there, you can watch all the videos which you teach you about dinosaurs, about things that kids really want to learn about, the environment. Again, this is stuff that they would have probably been learning in school. They would probably not be learning in school.
Yeah.
But it helps them to be able to do that. So that's another one for you.
National Geographic Kids.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Okay. So we have Google Classroom, Brain Pop, National Geographic Kids on YouTube.
On YouTube. Then, of course, in Ghana, we've got Asanka.
Okay.
Which has become very, very popular since, the lockdown. And Asanka gives also the resources.
Yeah.
What I love about Asanka is that you can even use it offline. You can share the resources that are there.
Okay.
But so as a family, it doesn't add too much to your bill. Of course, we know through COVID, people are struggling to pay like internet bills and all of that. But Asanka is designed for homes to use, and it doesn't add too much to their bills, for example. It's also got courses that are more contextual to our, environment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, and any more for the education side?
There's one called Storyline.
Okay.
I like Storyline. Now, Storyline, if you go there, there are books on various stories. Again, it's fun, all of that. But what it does also is that as you go through them, it sets you tasks. For example, so you go to storyline.net. Okay, and again, you can try. I love the fact that when you are there and you're going through the courses, it can be tracked. You do it by your level. So, for example, as a parent, you can set tasks for your kids. This week, we're reading this book. Some of them are just 14 minutes to do. So you can set tasks when you can monitor how well they're doing step by step. And it helps you as a parent because parents are still working. They leave home and they set the tasks for their kids. You can go back, or during the day, if you call home, you can check in to see how well they're doing. And these are stories that are great. You just need to subscribe, and you can, use them.
And what's the cost like in terms of when you say subscribe? What's the cost like?
It depends on what you want. If you can just click on subscribe for us.
Okay.
Okay,
and then you put in, I guess you put in an email address, right?
Yeah, you put in an email address.
And then you
but there are various packages.
So it looks, this one looks like it will be a free.
It's free to start with, but I mean, depending on what level you go,
you probably have to pay something else.
What I often say is try it with a free version. I often say to people, try with a free version. If it works for you, if it's good for you, then it makes you use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's go on. What else is there that parents can do with the kids?
So that's about, I mean, for the education
side.
I want to talk a bit also about fun stuff and hobbies. There's a website, there's an app called Piano Lessons by Simply Piano. What it does is it helps kids to learn piano. Okay, the app is connected from your phone to the piano. So while they go through, like, that's it on the screen there. So when they play, the app listens to on the phone, it can correct them. So it starts all the way from, let's see, what's the middle C, shows you where the middle C is. There's even a character there that has a really funny voice that kids will fall in love with to learn it. So it's not like having me, for example, boring me teaching your kids piano. Okay, and it works with every keyboard or piano. All you need is that you need to be able to turn on the
app on the phone,
on your phone, and it needs to be able to hear the audio so that it can pick and communicate with them. Tell them, oh, that's correct, that's not correct, or whatever. It's very, very engaging. Try play that video. Let's hear it.
Hello, my name is Maria, and in this video I want to talk about how to sit at the piano with the correct posture. You have main two things to remember, and the first one is that you don't actually sit at the very back of the piano bench or your chair, but only about at the first half of it, okay? Almost at the edge. And the second thing to remember is that your feet have to be able to be on the floor, not dangling. Not like this either. And for children, you probably need books or something under the feet to get them to a higher level. And the same is true of the bench. Children might need something to get them sit higher. Or if you have a adjustable piano bench, sit lower or higher depending on the child. Now let me show you some reasons why this is. It all has to do with muscle tension and being comfortable. If I'm here and I play from here, then these muscles will have more tension than if I am here. And your wrist must not be like this.
To use it, because what you really want is for the kids to enjoy doing and be able to exhibit how well they are doing using these tools. So you really, really want to get Duolingo for them. And you go to the website, you can use it. Just agree with them. All right, this month we're doing French or whatever. The basic things that they can learn all the way through. So great one also for the kids while they are home.
Fantastic. So that's Duolingo.
Yes.
That's Duolingo. Yeah. Okay, super. Yeah, so we have piano lessons by Simply Piano.
Yes.
And then Duolingo.
Yes.
Super.
There's another one there, if I can just quickly go into it. I mean, traveling is a challenge now. Some families love to travel, do the tours and all of that. There's a website called travellandleisure.com. And if you went there, it gives you a virtual tour of some of the great museums across the world.
Okay.
So if you went there, so this one, for example, if you scroll down, it will list some of the museums that you can tour.
Okay.
And it's a virtual tour, so we'll walk you through it. So British Museum,
it's a very
London.
quick way to learn a lot of things just by jumping into the website. Yeah. So museums and what else? What are some of the other attractions that we can?
There are other tools which I haven't listed here, but other tools also you can use to learn poetry, for example.
Okay, I see.
The key thing I would say is that for this period, get the kids to do things that are fun to do. They can do them independently online. You monitor it by setting them the tasks.
Okay.
To do that, and it doesn't cost too much. It also like this leisure tour thing. It exposes them to even have had to fly across to go and see. They can learn them here. These are things also that they don't learn in school readily. So the kids are really getting a lot. Just to close, one of the things I would say is that because over this period, there are a lot more people online. All the perverts
are also
online. So you need to be careful who your kids are engaging with. How do we deal with that? Now, that's why you need to, I mean, it starts off, those of us who do that, it starts off with somebody just trying to sound nice to the kids. They may even pretend to be their age or whatever. So give your kids good, talk of how these things start. If they get to know how these things start, they will tell you whenever anybody's sending them an email, that's whatever. And if they have an email, make sure you have access to the email as well. So you can check what's going on there. Plus, if you are monitoring the history, the browsing history daily, you'll be able to tell where they've gone to. But there are some kids also that as they browse around, they'll see things popping up. So for example, one of the first things you do is you try and block all pop-ups. So things are not popping up that would attract them to be able to want to click on it, to go onto sites that they've not planned, not planned for them to use. Plus, have a good antivirus, for example, installed. That way, then the various things that people will be able to send them other, like malware and all those things. Plus, the security settings. So, for example, if you're downloading anything, it will prompt. So
I think that some parents may say, okay, listen, a good antivirus is expensive, but I think that talking about the security settings, that's a good place to start. A good place to start.
And for the security settings, I don't expect every parent to be an IT person. So the best thing to do, we all have IT friends.
Somebody who knows
just call somebody and say, oh, my kids are going to be using this laptop in particular. Can you help me set up so that there's child protection on it and all those things? And monitor it regularly. So if there are things that probably, because sometimes some of these things you miss them. And it's only when you're monitoring that you're able to tell, this should have been blocked. And so you block it the next time. So monitor the history, track what's going on the machine regularly.
Let's talk about Duolingo again. It's something that is an app I found not too long ago myself, and I found it very exciting. Why, talk to us about why it's important at this stage of a kid's life to expose them to an app like Duolingo, as opposed to leaving it for them to discover it later in life.
Okay, so when we were growing up, French was the only language that we were taught in school. We didn't even take it serious. Now the world is so global now that kids are communicating. The more versatile they are, the more languages they know, the more even employable they are. Because we all have a plan, we have a vision that our kids will be international kids. As they travel, be able to check into a hotel, have a conversation with people, engage with people. It makes you more, should I say sellable? It adds to your value. It gives you more value. So it's good very early to give them those places. Same as the piano I talked about. The places I've been able to get to just by being somebody who is able to play and be able to engage with people, whether it's piano, guitar, whatever. So let them learn some of these skills, which they will carry with them all through their lives as they grow. And that's why it's important. And Duolingo is a great one, not difficult to use.
No, it's not. It's not. And what I like about Duolingo the most is the fact that you can play games to rehearse what you learned.
And you and the kids can learn together.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
So at home you can decide, well, over dinner today we're only speaking French.
That's a good one.
Then you engage because during the
then you can actually
learning,
practice
what you're doing. I love it.
It's brilliant.
I love it.
Thank you, Stephen. So Stephen Nasebwedu has been helping us to understand what it is that we can do in using tech to actually help us in parenting. Stephen, where can people find you? How people can reach you?
The best way to find me is on Twitter. You do for @Nase.
The owner of @Nase. You're the only Nase.
Forgive.
All right. Okay. So I think it's a brilliant experience for parents at this time with all this tech websites and pages and apps and so on available. It makes parenting a lot easier. Thank you very much to Stephen. And we're going to come back with Hello, Mr. President. But whilst we're going on a short break, let's take a look at the highlights, entertainment highlights.
Welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Akua. Ghanaian singer and songwriter Adina Tembi, better known for her stage name Adina, has released the tracklist for her first studio album. The album, titled Araba, will take listeners through Adina's musical journey. The two-time female vocalist of the year shared the cover art and the tracklist on her social media handles. Some of the songs were written by DJ Viroski, OJ Sam of Citi TV's Voice Factory fame, Kwame Fache, Mercy Addison, Richie Mensah, and Kiddy. The album is set to be released on the 30th of October 2020. Tracy Success, wife of Ghanaian rapper Sakyi, has launched Brave, a project that seeks to help young deprived Ghanaian women. According to Tracy Success, it has always been her dream to join the conversation on how to help many young women from deprived communities in the society. She highlighted on the fact that Brave will also connect, inspire, and empower these young women who are mostly caught up in the vicious cycle of socio-economic hardship, low practical job skills, and little of career opportunities into leadership roles. Taylor Swift has surpassed Whitney Houston for the most weeks at #1 by a woman on the Billboard. Latest has sat at the top for 7 non-consecutive weeks, giving her a total of 47 weeks, one more than Houston. Swift has a recent boost following the Academy of Country Music Awards, where she performed Betty of the Folklore album live and released it as a single shortly after. And that's all for Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Akua.
Thank you, sir. Hello, my name is Samuel Ofori, a film actor and the film nature of my job. The taste for quality things is endless. Quality phones, quality laptops, quality TV sets. Let me show you my secret. Here is Franco Trading Enterprise. My secret for quality laptops, quality phones, quality TV sets, accessories, come on, external hard drive, pen drive, name it. For bulk purchase and retails, come to Franco Trading Enterprise. They will reduce the price for you. Franco Trading Enterprise. Home quality phones.
Afreshapa Equipment Ojura Festival is here again. Tapped, safe, and smart Okwepiman. We continue to embark on exploring and discovering our rich cultural treasures together. And amidst this global coronavirus pandemic, we're staying safe with all protocols and being smart in the new normal. Join the celebrations from 28th of September to the 4th of October 2020 on www.ojurafestival.com. Also at Ekwapim Ojura Festival and at Okwapihini on all social media platforms. Ojura 2020, everyone send.
It is now time for Hello, Mr. President, which is a segment that focuses solely on issues you are experiencing within your communities. If you have not sent us your videos yet, you can still do that. Just take out your phone, record an up to 1 minute video, and send it to us via the email hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com, as well as our WhatsApp line 0550-585832. And every Wednesday at 9:30, we'll show the entire world and the country exactly what you are experiencing within your communities. Today we'll be looking at issues that have to do with open defecation and terrible roads in the northern region. We'll look at the video we received and then continue the conversation.
President, we want to present our problems to you to see how best we can help us solve it. I'll start with my electoral area first. In my electoral area, We have about 2 toilet facilities and are not in a good shape. People are not happy to see those toilet facilities. Let me just take you through to see how one of the toilet facilities looks like. People are using this toilet facility and it is not all that good. And because of that, people resort to feed themselves openly, open defecation, which is not good to our health. So, Mr. President, can you do something to help Langelo community in Zabzugu?
So that's Suleimana Aziz. He's the assemblyman of that area in Zabzugu, and the problem they are dealing with has to do with 2 public toilets that are supposed to serve over 2,000 people within that community. Now, as you see there in the video, the public toilets are nothing to write home about. It is terrible. People don't want to go there. Women are expected to use that public toilet. Children are expected to use that public toilet. And as a result, the women, children, and men of that community have been engaging in open defecation. Now, we all know the health implications of open defecation. I won't even get into the environmental implications, but if every day we wake up, we openly defecate, we're exposing ourselves to all kinds of health diseases. Of course, hospitals treating ourselves. The line with us. Good morning, Aziz.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, madam, and good morning to your viewers.
Thank you so much for being with us. Tell us a bit about the area you live in.
The area I was.
Mm-hmm.
That was Langele electoral area.
Okay.
In Zabzugu.
Mm-hmm.
That toilet facility is so damaged in such a way to feed themselves. And because of that, they resort to open defecation around Uria EA Primary School, and that alone will affect the health of the children and then the people themselves.
How long has this been going on? How long has this been going on? How long have people been using this bad toilet facility?
It's more than 3 years now.
More than 3 years?
Yes.
How do they feel after they have to use this place every day they have to answer to Nature's Call? What do they tell you?
Actually, I told the Honorable MP about it. It happened when he was touring around the community within Zabzugu town. He was visiting furniture. So when he comes to our electoral area, we presented that thing to him, the way it affects us. So he asked me to look for the people who are working on the toilet. Excuse me to say, the Fafa people. So when I get them, they charge us that we should pay 6,500 Ghana cedis. So that they'll remove all the pieces from the pit. So I went back and told the MP, and he said, instead of using that money to remove the pieces, why not build another one? So I accepted it. Since then, I've not gone back to him, and because of the nature of his spending, well, he was working on another project, so I didn't worry him again.
But Suleimana, as assemblyman of the area, how do you feel seeing thousands of people in your community use this place to answer to Nature's Call? I mean, I don't even think animals would want to be in such an environment.
I'm so bad, madam, because they are complaining. Even the houses around, they feel the stench of the toilet. Even animals like goats and sheep, they fall onto that pit. We don't know what to do, because I remember some people were saying that it is not good for people to do, the government will not more do public toilets. And most of our community members, because of the farming community, they can build their own toilet facilities.
Yeah.
this multiple manhood. Some have it, but others, majority of our people, they don't have those manhoods. So they resort to open defecation. People go to bush. And you know, they can attack by snakes when they go to bush. Some of them are being bitten by snakes. So it's very bad.
I mean, what do they tell you when they, or even you, how do you feel after you see people going there? There's no dignity in this. What do they tell you when they leave such a place just to answer to nature's call? And I can only imagine the stench.
You mean the committee members?
Yes.
They have been complaining, but as an assemblyman, what can I do? Because I was thinking that when we start sitting the meetings in the assembly, I will present that problem to the district chief executive. But since we were regulated as assembly member, we've not held any meeting. So that's our problem.
You haven't had any meeting?
No.
So your DC will be talking to him shortly. I'm sure your MP is watching too. What would you like them to do about this issue?
The toilet issue.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, the toilet issue.
I want them to build it for us, for my community. It's not even one, it's about two. One is located at the Akua farm. But all this is under my electoral area.
And how many people are within the community that this public toilet is serving?
The total number of people in the community?
Yes.
We are many. We are over 3,000. Because this current registration alone, there are children and then the old age. The registration alone is over 2,000. So if I go to add the small children, it's over 3,000 people within that electoral area.
Wow. This is
very,
very inhumane. We'll speak to your DC soon. I want you to stay on the line because you sent us another video that has to do with the roads in your community. But before we even get into the roads, I know viewers, this is very disturbing to watch very early in the morning, but I deliberately didn't say viewers' discretion advised because this is the reality for over 2,000 Ghanaians within this community. Children, women, men of this community, no option but to use that toilet facility that you're seeing there. Look at that. There's no proper sanitation options for them. Imagine yourself in your home having to answer to nature's call and marching there with your children to do so. When you look at the inside alone, that's enough. I mean, the stench alone is enough to get you to be sick. Now you have to squat on this thing. Can you imagine the kind of diseases you will get for the 5-10 minutes you have to stay there to answer to nature's call? And what money would you have to treat those diseases once you've contracted it from this despicable place that you have to use? And if you don't use that place, the only other option you have is to openly defecate. Not only are you polluting the environment, but you are also exposing yourself. I mean, he talks to us about snake bites. Imagine getting bitten by a snake just because you want to answer to nature's call. We can't say that we're serious about our development as a nation when our citizenry have to engage in this inhumane act just to answer to nature's call. It is a public health crisis. It is a human rights crisis. We should all be ashamed and all feel responsible for this. And now they also have an issue with their roads. So we'll take a look at that story and then get back with our conversation with the assemblyman.
District as a whole, we have roads problem. The road linking Yendi to Tatali is under deplorable state, which needs an urgent attention. So we are appealing to the president to help solve that problem. Not forgetting the route from Dziffa to Nakpale, even though the contractor is on site, but governments should act so that the contractor will do his best. If you are going to Nakpale, there's a person called Takpani. It's very bad. And if you move there to a place called Aldu, that place too is very bad. So we are appealing to the President of Ghana to help the people of Zabzugu district to get a very nice.
Sulemana, are you there?
Yeah, I'm on the line.
Tell us a bit about the road.
The road, as you can see, even though I couldn't get you the picture, but on the other video, I think you can see that.
Yes, we'll be showing that video shortly, so our viewers will see.
Those roads, let's talk about the Yendi Tertiary road from Tamale to Nachamba. So that particular road, in 2019, it was in the national budget. So, close to the end of the 2019, the honorable MP asked the sector minister about that road. So the minister assured that by March 2020, they will start working on the road. So we waited until March 2020, we didn't see any contractor on the road.
Wow.
So we are still pushing the government to look to that issue.
And you said this got worse after the spillage of the dam. Can you tell us a bit about that? The dam, what impact did the spillage of the dam have on this particular road that we're looking at?
You mean the dam that flood over the
Yes,
the road
yes,
there?
yes.
For that one, it comes maybe 5 to 10 years. It doesn't come all the time. It happens when they open the Bagri Dam. So when they open the Bagri Dam, it floods from the upper east to down to Rovati. And when that happens, no car can pass the Yendi.
Wow.
They will stop at this side, and then the canoes will convey the passengers to the other side. This is what it normally happens.
Huh. So right now we're looking at the second video you sent.
How the challenge will face this year. And then to the Nepali side, there's a person called Tapani, as I mentioned in the video. That particular stream, it always overflowed and prevent the Nepali people from crossing to Zabzugu. When they are also coming to Zabzugu, they will stop at that side. And then people will raise their hands and cross the river for them to take their motor things to Zabzugu.
Wow.
This particular year, I can't count the number of trucks that got stuck on the road. It's very bad, actually, madam. It's very bad.
How long has this problem been going on? How long has this problem persisted?
For that one it normally happens in the rainy season.
Okay.
If you have much raining, it happens. There are some particular years, if you don't have heavy rain, it doesn't happen.
So when the car breaks down like this, what do the people do? Because I'm seeing a lot of trucks that have broken down. How are they going to get to their destination?
You know, that community is a farming community. There are a lot of goods, maize, yams, cassava. They brought them from that area to Kamal Market. So when the road is very bad like this, they find it very difficult to bring their goods to the market.
Wow.
Yes. So the people of Nepal, they suffered this year, particularly this year. They suffered a lot.
Have you heard anything from authorities about fixing this road? Because it sounds as though the roads are tied to their economic livelihood. So if they are not able to get their goods to the market, they can't make enough money to take care of their families. What are the authorities doing about this?
Well, no, as we are speaking, there's a contractor on the side, a Chinese contractor. But the way they are moving is not in a good speed.
There's no sense of urgency.
Quickly. For the reset in bed, that couldn't happen.
Okay.
So they just jumped the Zablo Township. The video we saw is in Zablo Township. Zablo is the capital town for the district. If you look at the nature of the road in Zablo town, it doesn't resemble the other districts.
Wow.
That video is a township road. It's very, very bad.
It's very bad, and we are all looking at it this morning. We want to talk to your DC, the DC of the Assembly. So thank you so much for submitting this video and talking to us this morning, Aziz Suleimana. Thank you very much. So we're working on getting the DCE, but as you can see here, in the Zabzugu town, majority of the people there are farmers. What this means is that their economic livelihood is tied to their ability to get the crops that they harvest to the market. Now, a lot of us live in cities where getting something to the market is as simple as 10, 20, 30 minutes later, you are in the market. But in this particular town, it could mean hours, if not days, because once your truck breaks down, you have no other option. Maybe if a motorcycle rider is passing by and they can carry your goods, they will get you to the market. But if you get to the market and the day is over, you're not going to be able to sell anything. So when we talk about fixing our roads, when we talk about people anticipating that their lives will be better because this is the year of roads, this is what we are referring to. It is directly linked to their economic growth. Without their ability to get to the marketplace, they won't be able to make any money. This means that their children will probably not be able to have any food to eat. They won't be able to pay school fees. They won't be able to cater, all because they can't get access to the market because their roads are bad. We see men standing there. Some of them are probably masons. Some of them are probably carpenters, but they are stuck. So we are wasting human capital. We are wasting our productivity because we have failed to fix their roads. And we cannot continue to do this. We cannot continue to measure the progress we've made with our development by just looking at cities like Accra, like Kumasi, like Takoradi, and say we've done well as a nation. How do we measure the progress of our year of roads when people of this town can't go about their daily lives? These are not Ghanaians asking us for handouts. They are not asking us to feed them. They are not asking anything of us. They are just saying, fix my road so that I can get to make money for myself. It is a human right that we all are entitled to, so that we can be productive, we can contribute our human capital to the development of this nation. But when we fail to fix roads, that means children are going to take forever to get to school, while their counterparts in other cities are in school, studying, engaging their teachers. They are not able to do that. That means women who are supposed to be able to go to the hospital to deliver on time cannot do that and may lose their children on their way to the hospital because their roads are bad. Men can't get to work on time because their roads are bad. Breadwinners of families can't help their families rise out of poverty because we've not fixed their roads. So it is an endless cycle of poverty issues, of feeling stuck because as a nation we have failed again to fix roads. And the irony of all of this is that this year was supposed to be the year of roads. We spoke to the DCE of that area. He was supposed to speak to us on this issue. But we will revisit this issue and ask exactly why in this one town, people can't answer to nature's call with dignity and also be productive because of their roads. We'll take a look at the next video that we received.
Hello, my name is Mba John Attington, a native of Apatanga electoral area in the Bongo district in the Upper East region. Currently, the Apatanga structured chips compound We have a chips compound called Akua, which operates on the tree. And there is a community health officer who is trying all his possible best to give us health services. We are therefore appealing to the President of the Republic of Ghana to build us a chips compound, which we think in the long run will help us access health easily in the community, especially during rainy season.
So now we're moving from the northern region to the Upper East region. We've talked about sanitation issues, we talked about road, now we're looking at health. This viewer is Ebenezer Anaba. He's going to join us shortly to really help us appreciate what's happening within his community. Good morning, Ebenezer. Ebenezer, do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for being with us. How are you?
Very fine. How are you?
I'm good. Can you please tell us a bit about where you live and the issue that you sent us the video about?
Yeah, currently I'm doing my national service at Apatanga, Ghana Primary School.
Mm-hmm. And what's the issue with the chips compound?
Yeah, please, this chip compound issues has been there for long.
Mm-hmm.
They started weighing under this tree the year back 2014, 2015, thereabouts. But this current government, by the year 2017, promised to get us a chip compound.
Mm-hmm.
But as I speak to you now, we have cleared the land with the necessary documents. But still, we have not heard anything from them.
So what do people do when they need to see when they need to go to a health facility? We are looking at a video of a tree.
Yes, as you see the video, the building there is a teacher's quarters.
Mm-hmm.
So they normally do the way under the tree. After that, they'll send their things inside the teacher's quarters. So we are therefore appealing to the government to come to our aid, especially if it is rainy season.
Mm-hmm.
The health may find it difficult to attend to our issues.
Yeah. So you're telling me that you treat people under this tree?
Pardon?
You attend to patients under the tree we are looking at? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, please. That's where they are doing well, and that's where they are sending.
How is that even humanely possible?
The there is not for the it's for the school. And because we don't have the facility, we decided to beg for that facility to be used. That is community health nurse.
So where do you even put your resources to be able to properly take care of patients?
Yes, please.
How is it? How difficult is it to be able to treat patients when the only thing you have is a tree that's providing shade?
Yeah, it's becoming critical. We normally send the patients to nearby chip compound. Because we don't have the facility there to take care.
Okay. What would you like your DCEs, your MPs, the nation to do for you so that the people of this community can visit a proper chips compound and be taken care of?
Yeah, we are pleading them to come to our aid. But I don't want to speak much on them because the politicians, they'll come and say they'll do this. And 2 to 3 days, it seems they'll forget about it. But I'm pleading to the media people to always come to the ground and then find out what is really working on.
Okay.
What is really going on. So it seems we have been following them for this particular thing about now. And nothing has been done.
Okay, so Ebenezer, we will follow up.
And then our MP, Honorable Red Bauer, and then our DEC, Peter Yimbisa, to come to our aid and then help us out.
Okay, we'll follow up with this issue and speak to more people in your community about how this is really making life very difficult for them. Thank you so much for being with us, Ebenezer.
You're welcome.
And thank you at home for staying. So today, we actually started in the northern region. As you can see there, that's the Upper East region. We are in an election year. People are going to be coming into our homes, asking us to vote for them. They'll be promising us all kinds of things. But in 2020 Ghana, people can't answer to nature's call in dignity. people can't be productive because of terrible roads, and patients who are already sick and need a very good environment to be taken care of have to resort to staying under a tree because we have failed to provide them CHIPS compound. If you have any problems in your community that people are ignoring, policymakers are ignoring, just send us a video, a 1-minute video. The email to send that to is hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. And our WhatsApp line is 0550-585832. This segment is all about you and what you're experiencing in your communities and how this nation can serve you better. My name is Dziffa Ametam. This is still Breakfast Daily. Thank you so much for staying with us.
Yes, and my name is David Kwekusechi. It was a delight having you with us this morning. Keep watching Citi TV, and we'll see you same time tomorrow.